What would you have to say about climate change if you were to have a visual meaning of anything you want? What would you say?
I mean, pretty much same thing that we've been talking about the whole time. Um, you know, uh, electric cars. I mean, that's probably the easiest thing to do right now.
Yeah,
Put up charging stations everywhere. I mean, I'm really surprised. Like fast food restaurants that haven't done that yet because it's almost like a guarantee that people are going to come in, they're going to sit down, they're going to have a bite to eat, and they're going to charge their vehicle at the same time.
yeah, definitely. Um, if you were to have to go in front of like a group of people, like national television, for instance, I'm gonna put you on the spot right here, all right?
All right.
If you had to go in front of national television because the world got so bad that there was like 1.5 billion people, and if you didn't change things up within the next few years to stop climate change, what would you tell them to do to help if there was no other choice? Like they did the electric cars and all that, but it's still getting really bad because of humans. What would you tell them?
Well, I guess we're going to have to start selecting people for Mars. I mean, I mean, if our planet gets to that point, then obviously we're going to have to look at alternatives. We're going to have to go somewhere else.
And if we don't find it anywhere else,
Then that's the scary part. I mean, we've all seen, doomsday movies, the TV show, stuff like that.
yeah,
Only
Triple X,
it's real life at that point.
indeed. Um, okay. Well, to continue on that topic, what would you do if no one wanted to listen about finding a different planet? Then what would we try and convince them to do?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Okay, if convincing them to go to a different planet didn't work, what would you tell them to do?
I don't even really know. I mean, it's the human race. People want to do what they want to do. It doesn't matter what you tell them, what facts you present in front of them. Everyone has their own opinions. But I mean, you could you could literally tell them, hey, it's kind of like smoking, for example. You can sit there and tell someone, hey, if you don't quit smoking, this is what your lungs are gonna look like. They've been doing that for years at this point, and look what happens. They still
Yeah,
sit there and smoke. So it's the exact same thing. If the lungs are the planet and the humans are the nicotine, we're doing it to ourselves.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, take it from the background you got right now. That is based off from what is actually going to happen if we continue on the route we're going. I mean, it's predicted that by 2070, we all 3.54 billion people will be dead due to tears in our atmosphere. And if we don't do anything to start changing climate change, it'll be sooner than that because of the amount of forest fires and stuff like that that we're having due to climate change. Another thing that's also going to be happening is by 2040, Africa and India will no longer be livable due to the amount of heat that's there. I mean, it's predicted that it'll hit 54 degrees Celsius up there, over there, by those years. So I personally think that the only way we can truthfully fix the climate is by doing, yeah, what you said, getting electric cars, putting down electric charging stations all over, getting rid of gas, working on moving away from charcoal and fossil fuel factories and so on and so forth. Um, then we would also have to find a way to get into the government and have them mandate some changes to help save the planet. What are your thoughts?
I mean, that's the problem, you know. The
Yeah.
the government, they are going to do whatever is beneficial for them because they only care about themselves. They don't care about us. They don't care about the planet. They're gonna do whatever, money. Cash is king. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what we say. Again, facts. It doesn't matter what we say is gonna happen, what is currently happening, what has happened in the past, what we can already show that has happened. They don't want to listen.
Yeah, you got a point. Let me see. Can you pull up that article real quick? Just ask.
Pull what up?
Yeah, right now 45 minutes. We got 15 minutes that we got to keep this up for. You got any questions to ask me about what I would do to change or the climate or anything?
Um, yeah. Let's see here. What about the warming ocean?
Mm,
How is that gonna affect the sea life?
yeah, you got a point there. If the weather continues to rise, like the heat in the ocean continues to rise, it's gonna, for those that are cold-blooded, it's just gonna boil them. Like, yeah, they're cold-blooded and they're supposed to be in the warm, but after a while, mixing hot and cold just it doesn't end the right way, and then those that are warm-blooded are just gonna boil. And after a while, they're just gonna slowly become extinct. And warming of the oceans is also impacting hurricanes and uh, and stuff within the ocean.
You know, taking back off that a little bit, like the ice sheets, as that stuff starts melting away and breaking off, it slips into the ocean and the levels are rising. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think about that as far as like people who live on the coast?
Well, screw the people. Save the polar bears. Polar bears mean everything. But the people on the coast, that's gonna really affect them because if too big of a chunk hits the ocean, what are they gonna do to be able to stop if there's a tsunami created by it? I mean, predicted that if one of the largest ice capsules finishes melting due to climate change and falls into the ocean, it can create a catastrophic tsunami for the world, just for the culture coastline of the US and South America. So it could really impact the way they live and basically how those towns run in general.
Um, and what is that gonna? What do you think that how that will affect the um uh, I lost my thought, I'm sorry.
So,
Like wildlife, you know?
yeah. Uh, well, to go back with what you said on the ice caps, it's melting of them is just, it's horrible for the polar bears. They're heavy animals, they can't swim, and they rely on those to find food. And in general, with the amount of ice that's already melting, it we could possibly see the extinction of polar bears and penguins.
And do you think did you ever think that you would even come close to even being able to say something like that? The possible extinction of a polar bear?
No, I never thought I would be saying it, but it's gonna happen. I mean, we're already seeing a major decline in polar bear and penguin uh rainfire. We're already seeing a major decline in the polar bear and penguin like habitat and the numbers that there are, that it's gonna happen if we don't do anything to change, or at least slow the process down.
Gotta find some stuff.
Uh,
And obviously we talked about like the drastic temperature changes,
yeah,
which is I I, I think that that part scares me the most. You know, like especially I mean when you think like disasters, or whatever, tornadoes, stuff like that, things that occur just because of cold front and hot front meets together, and
yeah.
it's just those disaster.
Take it back from what you said earlier. Yesterday you said, well, today you said that yesterday it was like 80 degrees when it was supposed to be like 40s to 30s, and yesterday for me it was 60 when it was supposed to be 30s. Then at night it just dropped. Like it didn't slowly drop, it just dropped. So that we're already seeing drastic changes in weather, and it's affecting how people live and timing of animals. Like uh today I saw geese in New York when they're supposed to be down south already. So it's affecting the way every animals think and populations.
I mean, yeah, I get that, especially like birds, for example, they're supposed to fly south to the warm weather for the winter, and if okay, it starts getting cold, so they fly maybe just a little bit south, but then they stop because they hit a little bit of warm air. They're like, oh, cool, so we must be far enough south. Well, at night when the temperature just completely drops, then you got a frozen goose in the morning.
Yeah, that'd be sad to see too, because if anyone has kids, and we all know how kids can be with wildlife, if they see something dead that brutally because of just climate change, how's it going to affect their lives in the long run? You know?
Yep. The effectiveness goes from everyone from that is 100 years old all the way down to being 2 years old in some way, shape, or form. I could definitely see that. Yeah, I get you. Loki
Yeah.
wakes up, sees a frozen bird in the yard, and he goes over, pokes it with a stick or something, and it's
Well, yeah,
it's a sheet of ice.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
and then on top of that, you got the people, you got the homeless, in the middle of um like October or something like that, when it's it's supposed to be fairly nice out, maybe like 60, 70 degrees or whatever, and you start getting like really, really cold weather, or during the summertime, you can bake an egg on the sidewalk of, the street, or
Yeah.
it gets too hot. People who work outside, obviously, they gotta put up with it.
Hmm.
The human body can only put up with so much.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, think of it this way: if 50 years from now, I'm just going off from guesstimate, uh, most of the populations are either extinct or decreased dramatic, blah, drastically. How is that going to affect the way kids learn? I mean, if a kid is taking like high school courses or just starting out, how is it going to affect their lessons and what they know versus what we know right now?
I mean, I get you there. I mean, even just thinking about like the difference from just thinking about what kids learn about today about this stuff versus whenever I was learning about it. You know, the just the knowledge, the shared knowledge out there today is greater than when I went through school and I was learning about it. But yet, we still are not.
Yeah, yeah, I can get this showing on YouTube Music.
Be nice.
Yeah, I can set it up for the revive, weekly revive. You know, but to go back with what you were saying, like at my school, that at the college I'm going to, we have a culinary arts division, and I went to them because I was asking what containers they use and why they were using them, and they said the only reason they were using them is because the school and the government aren't providing enough money for them to get environmental safe equipment. So just to think about what the government is doing to help is upsetting because they're not even helping. They're just, sitting there on their butts watching the world go to basically shambles, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. Sure. I mean, and again, pretty much what we pretty much have hammered the nail into. It all starts with the government. Cash is king. It's but you know, it kind of
Yeah,
sucks. We have to rely so much on them to make a change to be able to enjoy this planet 50, 60, 1,000 years from now.
yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, for instance, what is the world going to be like when we're not here to protect it anymore and help it? When it's the next generation and they don't know all the facts that we know.
It's gonna look like the left side of my backdrop.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. That is a very bad, bad idea. Guys, you can see this in my thumbnail, by the way. What he's talking about. It's just down bad. Okay. Or just click the link in the description if you want to go see what it really would look like. Yeah, it is not gonna be good.
Nope. Pretty much think like Mad Max, or yeah, post apocalyptic. Only it wasn't because of a nuclear explosion or nuclear war or anything like that, but just because of the fact that we did not do anything to help climate change, to combat it, to just take care of the planet.
Yeah. Um, yeah, exactly. You hit the spot right there. How is climate change affecting our food, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, things just don't grow like they used to. I mean, especially these days with the change of the seasons. Um, I mean, hell, a shortage. There's shortage of food just because things can't grow because the it gets either too cold or too hot, not enough water. That's definitely the biggest thing there.
Yeah. How would you feel about going to a different galaxy if we got the technology? Based due to the climate change, if it got so bad, what would you do? What would you say?
I mean, it, even if it wasn't bad, beam me up, Scotty.
Oh God, that's healthy.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'd totally be down for that.
because right now Elon Musk is and Nigel Topping is working on Project COP 26, a trip to a new galaxy. I have a feeling it's never going to happen, but keep our hopes up, right? Gotta keep our hopes up.
Yeah, kind of like how I got my hopes up with the SLS system going, but Boeing's got to fix their capsule first.
Mm, definitely.